This is very, very, very good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we hear a few words from a member of the Anti-Geoengineering legal team, Mr. William Blackwell.
How are you doing? This gentleman here to my right is Joe Marman. He's also on our legal team, and he's giving me moral support tonight. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I've never been to Reading. It's an honor to be here because Dane asked me to come aboard the legal team, and it's probably the most important thing I've ever done. Joe's on our legal team as well. He just wrote a great letter to the Mount Shasta, or the Shasta County Air Quality Control Management District on August 11th. And I just wanted him to talk briefly about this letter because he's been involved in this a little longer than I have. Joe?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm Joe Marman out of Auburn, Sacramento area. Probably 5 years ago, I wrote to the Department of Defense and Undersecretary of the Army and Leon Panetta, and I quoted 50 U.S. codes and then some other sections after that I can't remember. And I said, look, at the United States Code says you cannot experiment on the American public, and if you do, you got to report it to Congress within 30 days. Where's the proof that you did that? I got a couple letters back, and they said, we don't know what you're talking about. So I followed up with letters to NOAA and to the Army and Air Force and with Freedom of Information requests. They said, we don't know what you're talking about either. So I also wrote to Ross Bell at the Shasta Air Quality Management and invited him to talk to us about what he's experiencing in the skies. Why don't they report on it? He ignored my request 3 years ago, and also this week when I called him and faxed him this letter. I've always promoted the idea of just suing them because we can talk about it all we want, but we're in the process of preparing a lawsuit and strategizing whether it's going to be... Thank you. We're just strategizing to see if it's going to be class action, or I think it's a lot more manageable if we just name about 5 or 6 or 10 plaintiffs rather than obligating the attorneys to give notice to the whole class. So anyway, we're still working on that. Thanks for coming.
Dane asked me to come aboard the legal team because I have because of my media background. I do entertainment law. One of the reasons that the suit is being filed, of course, is to correct the mistakes that are being made, but is also to get the media to start reporting on this, because until the media reports on this, it doesn't exist to the general public. John Kennedy, in 1961, giving a speech to the Newspaper Publishers Association in New York City, one of his greatest speeches ever, talking about the secrecy of the media, stated, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And he went on to say that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. And that's what's happening. So, part of the suit, as I said, is to get this out to the media so that people understand what's going on. 4 years ago, I'd never heard anything about geoengineering. I'd never heard of HAARP. I never heard of chemtrails, aerosol spraying. My wife, you may know her as Angela Black. She's got a radio show on Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 3 days a week. Has had Dale on the show, and that's how I got to meet him. Started, every time we moved up to South Lake Tahoe, every time we got in the car, she'd start yelling at the skies and pilots and planes and all this, and I thought she'd lost her marbles, and And then one day she said, you know what? She says, you lecture, you write about the Kennedy assassination, you know that the Warren Commission was a bunch of crap. Why can't you take a step back and understand that the government isn't coming clean on this? And so I started doing my research, listening today and reading about it, and I came to the realization that if we had people like these people that have come out tonight to speak with you, and some other people that are coming out, that if we had them in a courtroom, I think we could prove, Joe and I, by preponderance of evidence, that this is happening to a jury. So it's just not the two of us. We've got a team of at least 7 attorneys, 2 others that are in Canada, and they're going to be coordinating their efforts with us so that we have as big as a media bounce as we can when we here in the States file the action and when they file the action. So I want to thank you very much for being here tonight. It was an honor.